So I had never experienced anything like that, had never even been inside. And all of a sudden, I had 20 people that became my new friends living in one place.
Hello and welcome! My name is Zoe, and I am so excited to be interviewing exceptional Illini from all across campus so that you can get an inside look into what it's like to be a student at Illinois. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video, and also let us know in the comments who you'd like to hear from next. Today I'm sitting down with Mahi. She is a rising junior and she's from Dubai, and she is studying environmental sciences and minoring in integrative biology. She's also the biggest Trippie Redd fan that you'll ever meet. She is so funny and smart and passionate, and I'm so excited for you to see her interview. Okay, well, I guess we should start. Mahi, thank you for joining me. This is our first student-to-student interview, so I'm really excited to ask you questions about your Illinois experience.
I'm super excited to answer. I love my Illinois experience. It's been so amazing so far, and I love talking about it. That's why I kind of do what I do.
Yeah, because you're an I-Star, right?
Yeah, that's the main reason I actually applied for the position and wanted to get it real bad, was because I love my Illinois experience. It's been such a great an important part of who I've become over the past 2 years. So I just wanted the chance to share that with others. So yeah.
That is so cool. Oh, cool. Well, when I first asked you some questions to get to know you, I was super intrigued by your answer to what you like to listen to. Tell me about your Trippie Redd concert experience.
Oh my God, that was so fun. So it was the FYGU Music and Tech Festival, and it was free for students. So you just had to show your iCard at the entrance, which I loved. And you obviously know, you can find that a lot all over campus, a bunch of events throughout the year. But yeah, so it was a music and tech festival, and it's run by these two people that just go to different college campuses to host it. And so we went in, and then there was this whole session of students from Illinois performing, and it was kind of the start of the festival, I guess. And people would just go around to all these little stalls and tents, and just get to mess around with technology in different forms. So there's a whole gaming station, and then there's a whole Amazon Prime section. So you got a bunch of free stuff, and you got to play little games to win things. And then after that, we had a couple of openers perform, and then one of the students from Illinois that won the little beginning concert. It was kind of a competition. So one of the kids that won, I actually ended up knowing him. He's one of my friends that beatboxes. It was super cool. And he got to open for Trippie Redd. And I loved Trippie Redd before I saw him live. And then when I saw him live, it was just the best experience. And it was on campus, free, with all my friends. And I actually had a friend visit from home during that time. So it was just such a good experience. And it kind of reminded me that college isn't all about just studying, grind it out. It's to have the full experience and to enjoy with people, make memories. And yeah, that's what the concert kind of symbolizes for me. It sounds cheesy, but it was a really great experience.
So awesome. Because not only was it your favorite artist, but all of your friends were there, and it was on campus. You didn't have to travel a long ways to get there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh. Yeah, I just had to walk 5 minutes from my apartment, and we were there, and it wasn't that much of a wait. And we went in early so we could kind of go walk around the tech part of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was super fun.
So cool. Oh my gosh. So was it at the Canopy Club, or was it at Fullinger, or where did it take place?
It was at the Grange Grove Stadium.
Oh.
So it was out in Brooklyn where they do all the events before games.
That's so awesome. Yeah, Grange Grove I feel like it's an underrated place in general. I mean, you think of it for game day and for tailgating and stuff, but I didn't even realize that they had other events there. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think they do more than just that. And it was super nice. It was a super nice day. It wasn't cold, and it was raining, but when you're in the moment, it didn't really matter. So it was so much fun. It was another thing to enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, it was really nice, and it was outdoors, so that's why I guess it was more fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So, I mean, that's a non-academic thing, and I guess we should talk a little bit about some academic stuff because that is a big part of why people want to go to Illinois because we're super strong academic. So you said that you are doing, hold on, sustainable re-engineering of stormwater management catch basins. So that's your area of focus. Is that true?
Yeah, that was a whole mouthful, but so basically my major is environmental sciences, and after the first semester of freshman year, I added on the minor of business, which is in the Geese College of Business. So I'm doing like a major in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, so it's across different colleges. And actually last semester, so my first semester of sophomore year, I decided that I'm sorry. It was actually this past semester.
Wow.
I decided that I wanted to take up a minor in integrative biology because I took a class. It was actually IB 361, and it was ecology and human health, and it was so interesting. And halfway through, because of everything going on, they kind of switched up the syllabus a bit to learn more about the coronavirus as it was going on. So I found that super interesting. I had taken a couple of integrative bio classes a few semesters ago, so I decided to take a minor in that. And I kind of decided that what I wanted to do was sustainable pathology. So that's kind of working towards reducing the spread of disease in sustainable ways. So one of the things that I specifically got the chance to focus on was because we're in Illinois, we focus a lot on problems in Chicago. So there's a lot of stormwater management techniques being implemented because it's a large city and we do get a lot of rain. So because these catch basins, that's what they're called, they're put into sewers to kind of catch the stormwater and then inform and kind of predict when we're going to see the next storm when they start filling up. But because it's the perfect environment for mosquitoes to breed in, every time there's a storm we see an increase in West Nile virus cases. So there's like sustainable ways to manage that, and that's kind of what I want to get into, ways that you can re-engineer those catch basins to not kind of feed into more disease spread. And then also that water is sewer water and it gets let out into water sources. So to avoid the contamination of water sources, that was such a mouthful. I'm totally geeking out over it. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do.
That's amazing. And it's so highly specific. It's so highly specific. And the fact that you were already able to find something that you're so passionate about that is so specialized after taking a broad range of environmental science related courses is so exciting. So you mentioned that you might want to go and get some more schooling after this, to like you wanted to get a master's degree, and tell me a little bit more about like how that career path might look.
Okay, so my goals as of right now is obviously once I finish college, I want to work for a while just because I want to, I guess, make money to pay for graduate school. And I don't know yet if I'm trying to graduate early or not. It's not necessarily like a specific thing that I want to do, but it's something that I'm trying to figure out by next semester just because I do pay international student tuition. So it would save a lot of money. So if I'm able to do that, that's the plan. And if I'm not able to do that, it's not that bad. I would stay the 4 years, hopefully work with a company that works with research and something similar, so sustainable pathology or sustainability or just pathology. I'm not really too specific about it because I just want to learn more while working and getting that experience. And eventually I would want to go to graduate school for pathobiology or sustainable pathology, excuse me, something along those lines, just to kind of get a better understanding because I do want to go into research and it's helpful to have that PhD.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm I'm just so impressed by your passion for this and just like how far ahead you're thinking already. And I'm also super interested in the implications of this stuff right now with everything that's going on in the world. So it sounds like you're really like diving in. It's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of never anticipated how badly and quickly and seriously like disease spread occurs, especially in larger cities, larger places where there's so much human to human contact. So I guess till this happened, no one really knew the implications of that. So I think it's very relevant. It's very important that we do find ways to do that. I think the main reason people didn't anticipate it was because we are so technologically advanced. We do have the resources to kind of not only prevent but also mitigate in case it is an issue. So I guess we never thought that we would come to this stage. So I guess it's so important to just know what's out there, how we can fix it. There's ways to prevent it, ways to predict it. So yeah, it's just something I've been super into. I wasn't always like this. I think it's just taking different classes across the different disciplines and being able to kind of test the water, see what I'm interested in, really helped me solidify and like work on that passion. So it was definitely not just my brain doing all this work. It was my experiences as a student on this campus, being able to learn so many different things. That's kind of what helped me know what I want to do.
That's so great. That's, yeah, it totally sounds. Did you see that? A picture. Oh, that's okay. Well, that's my fault. It's because I have a cord plugged in behind the picture. That was so good.
That was so funny.
Anyway.
Good thing it is all live because that would have been so funny.
I think I was just gonna say how cool it is that you've allowed your experiences in classes to really shape your interests. And that's, I mean, everyone wants that. I think everyone wants to walk into a class at Illinois and just discover your new favorite thing, your new passion.
Yeah, and that's something that I didn't know that I was going to experience at college because I think that throughout high school, I was just so, even if I enjoyed a subject or a class that I was taking, I was just so bored of it and so bored of that mundane routine. And college kind of keeps that excitement up and it helps you work on just what you want to work on. So you pick your classes, you choose what areas you want to study, you choose if you don't like something, you're able to drop it. So everything is up to you. You have full autonomy over your academic experience. So I think that's what gets people excited and more involved and more passionate because that's something we don't expect after like the routine of doing high school.
Oh yeah. Yeah. High school was pretty cut and dry humdrum in comparison to college. I remember once I this was like the first day of second semester of freshman year. I attended 2 classes on the first day of the semester and promptly dropped 2 classes because I realized they weren't exactly what I was interested in. So it's totally a choose your own adventure. I definitely
Yeah, for sure. And it's just nice that no one like holds it against you. I remember sitting in this class at the start of this semester actually, and I hadn't ever dropped a class before. I just ended up sticking with it and it either ended up great or was just fine, a class that I get through. And I had a class that I was enrolled in and it was for senior class standing and graduate or graduate students, and I was accidentally allowed to register for it. And I sat there and I was like, okay, this is not for me. This is not what I want to do. And I remember the professor coming up to me and handing me a syllabus, and I was like, I'm gonna drop this, so you can maybe save that for someone that wants it. And obviously not in a rude way, but I just was like, I'm not even eligible to take this class based on my standing. And he was like, oh yeah, totally fine. You could just sit through some lectures till the drop deadline. And I was like, I actually will. Yeah, thanks so much. It was super fun. And you get to like, no one holds it against you. It's like everyone understands that if it isn't for you, it isn't for you. So you get the choice and you get to pick and choose what you want to do.
I agree so much that no one holds anything against you anymore. I think that the bubble of your individual world just gets so much bigger in college. That's whether you go to a small school or a big school. No
Yeah.
one's like looking over and like seeing how, like, what specifically everyone's doing, because everyone's journey is so different.
Yeah, and the one thing that I am so glad I realized is that no one like cares unless you ask them, and like when you ask them, they're there for you for sure. I don't mean that in like a dark, deep way. I'm just saying like no one cares about your downfalls, your mistakes, unless you ask for help, and then they care about you. They're not going to care about the issue, and that's something I realized kind of later on in my freshman year of college. It's just that just do what you need to do. Like if you make mistakes, fine, just pick it right back up where you left off and like fix what you need to fix and get on with it, because no one's gonna hold it against you. And that's something that really helped me actually throughout my freshman year.
Yeah.
Like learning new things, making new memories and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. You mentioned you had a really good group of friends by the end of freshman year. You had this whole big group, and you mentioned you had this memory from the last night of the regular semester right before finals week. Could you tell us, our audience, a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it was around the second semester of freshman year where I started kind of leaving just where I had been the whole time, because I had amazing friends, and it was really nice. But the thing I realized was because I was an international student, I made friends with my roommate, who was amazing, and I had become friends with all of her friends because she was from Illinois, and everyone that she was friends with were automatically my friends. And although that was amazing, I wanted to make friends of my own. So it was around the second semester of freshman year. I met a couple of people, and then I started hanging out with them, and they actually lived in a completely different residence hall than mine. They lived in Armory House, which was private certified. So I had never experienced anything like that. I had never even been inside. And all of a sudden, I had 20 people that became my new friends living in one place, and I got to experience kind of almost living there, always being there, hanging out with them, studying with them, like so many different experiences with one friends group or one group of friends, and it was 20 people, so you never got bored. There was always someone who wanted to hang, always someone who wanted to have a little study sesh. And by the end of the semester we all got so close, and this memory that you're talking about, it was the last day of freshman year, and we went out into this park right by Armory House, and we all had a bunch of blankets and speakers, and we were playing music, and it was kind of like a bonfire, like sitting around a bonfire without really having the bonfire. And we were all reflecting and just talking about funny memories and funny things that had happened. And we took some pictures, but it was nice. It was like a phone-free night apart from the few pictures that we took. So it was like the first time that I had ever just sat down after the craziness that is freshman year to just reflect back with some really amazing friends I had made. So that was definitely one of my favorite memories of freshman year.
Wow. Having a big group like that after just a year. I mean, it's not that it's rare. I think it's just so special. So every time I hear about somebody like finding their people at Illinois, I'm like, yes, that's so much of what college is for, is like finding those people who will be your support system and who you grab coffee with, and just, I mean, friends are such gifts.
Yeah, for sure. And it really takes time to, I guess, find your people, as you said. But once you do, it just feels like, okay, yeah, everything's right. Like things are going down, like something's not okay, but I have this amazing group of friends that are there for me, that I can fall back on, that even if I don't want to talk about something, I can just hang out with them, and like I start to forget the negative aspects of it and start figuring out how to fix an issue or something along those lines. So it's just so nice to have that group of people to be there for you and for you to be there for them. Like it's just a great. Oh, I'm getting so sappy about it. But yeah, it was just a really great experience. I'm glad that I made those friends.
Yeah. I've been thinking a little bit about how making friends in college is a little bit different from making friends in high school or even before high school. I have a close friend who I met in elementary school, and making friends in elementary school is a little different because the sort of like awkward stage of like just becoming friends, you forget about it because it was years and years ago. But as an adult,
Yeah.
college student, it's like, how do I like how do I make it through this weird like dating stage of being friends until we have like a true like wonderful bond? So yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's funny, but I think the way that like we learn to forget about it is the fact that when you come into college, everyone is looking to make friends and looking to meet people, and everyone is so down to just be a friend to someone else. So I think that it's so nice, like, and not every person you meet is gonna become like, oh, this is my person, this is my best friend, but it's so nice that you can still have those connections and not have to think about it too much, and you can just meet someone and it's so casual and it's so normal to just be like, hi, I'm Mahi, nice to meet you, like, and the one thing, it sounds super cheesy, but the one thing that I remember loving about college when I first came was there's not been a single day where I haven't met someone new and like where I haven't had to introduce myself. And although that seems kind of exhausting knowing so many people, it's just something that I enjoy, and I came to college and came so far from home to meet new people. So it was so nice just every single day getting to meet someone new. And it doesn't matter if you don't talk to them every day, but it's nice like if you see them again even after talking just once, it's like a nice friendly smile on your way to class. Like it's not that deep, honestly. Like you can move past that awkward dating stage much easier than if it was a friendship at any other stage in your life, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is such a good point because you're totally right. Everyone is excited to meet new people. That's part of what college is all about. That's so cool. You said coming to school far from home. You're from Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So tell me a little bit about like why Illinois of all of your options. I'm sure you had a ton of options. And I mean, you just seem like a brilliant person, so I'm sure you had like other choices. So why specifically Illinois?
So firstly, thank you for like gassing me up. I'm just sitting here enjoying all the compliments. And well, so obviously picking college, everyone has like a little criteria that they make, where they want to go, what they want to study, obviously all of that. So I guess my major um, requirements were obviously a great program for my major, which Illinois has. And the one thing that I wanted was exposure to a lot of new things. And the reason I say that is because the college life back home compared to here is so different. It's kind of streamlined. Like you pick a major, you stick with it, and you pick a stream and then do a lot of different kind of courses and subdivisions of that stream. And then you kind of stick with it. So it was so nice to get the chance to explore my major, explore other interests, pick up minors, and if I wanted to switch, I could so easily switch. I have a friend that switched 4 times, and we're in sophomore year, or we just finished sophomore year. So she's already switched her major 4 times, and it's not a bad thing. It's amazing that you can like so quickly just realize like this is not for me. I want to find something that's for me. So I just wanted the chance to, or the opportunity to be able to make those switches and be able to find what I love. And then the last thing was just I wanted to be far away from home. And I know I like went so far, but it was mostly just because I wanted to be around people that I had never met. Not that I hated people from back home, I love them, I grew up with them, but I just wanted to meet all new people, have a completely different experience. Basically, for me, my biggest thing was if I'm going that far and I'm putting all this time, money, effort into gaining that academic experience, I wanted it to be completely different to what I experienced at home. So I guess that's why I picked some up campus as far away and as different as this. And then I guess just Illinois because I had heard so many good things about it. My major has an amazing program here, and I don't know, it just seemed like the place for me. I don't know if I don't know if everyone feels that way, but it just when I visited, so I visited the summer before my senior year, and we had gone across a bunch of different like U.S. college campuses, and because I knew I wanted to come study here, and not Illinois specifically, but I knew I wanted to come to the States. So we visited a bunch of campuses, and everything was amazing. I'm not really like gonna make a comparison, but being on the Illinois campus and doing that campus tour was I could just picture myself like being a student here, and I think that's what like made me instantly want to choose it, even though I had never thought of it before I visited campus.
That's great. And now you're one of the iStars. You're one of the people who bring students. I mean, at least, guess not right now, but for the last year or so, you were able to give tours and allow other people to picture themselves on campus. So that's so cool. Could you tell me a little bit about the Jubilee Cafe?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I was involved in on campus. So I'm in a co-ed service fraternity, and through that fraternity, we just get involved in local community initiatives and do service. That was the point of it. And Jubilee Cafe is actually a weekly community dinner, and it's a free community dinner that's held at a church in Champaign, and they just have free dinners on Wednesdays, and anyone can come. So you will walk in and you'll see a bunch of students, mostly students, because they take advantage of the fact that, especially like sophomores, juniors, seniors, everyone will take advantage of the fact that you don't have to cook dinner one night, and it's really good food. It's really good, filling, warm. It's a happy meal. And you will see a bunch of families that are just local to Champaign because they have like 8, 9 people, and they'll all come in there and they'll just sit together and have a meal. You get to see a bunch of professors and teaching assistants. Everyone just goes there for a quick dinner. So it's so nice. It's like a little community event every week. And the service that I did was through the church. I would bus tables or serve or cook. Oh, that was my favorite. I would cook sometimes, and you get to just like help the chef out, and it was so much fun. And yeah, so they had a bunch of different tasks. You could get involved that way. The reason that was my favorite thing to be involved in is because not only because I would get to meet the people that I was directly doing the service for, if that makes sense, but I could meet them repeatedly. So I had friends that were years older than me. There's this one woman who said she was, I think, 62, and I used to meet her every week, and we used to just sit and talk while eating dinner, or I would serve her and we would just talk while I was kind of in the middle of service, because you would just have to do something when it came up. So all of the other time you had, you just had to interact with the people. So that was super fun. That's definitely one of my favorite, I guess, service memories.
Wow, makes me want to try it out. It sounds like a really awesome community.
Yeah, for sure. If you ever get time, you should go just to the dinner, even if you don't want to, even if you don't get the chance to be involved in the service. The dinner itself is super fun. You just get to hang out with a bunch of people that you've never met before. So yeah, that's kind of why I decided to get more involved in that.
Amazing. That it's such a quintessential Illinois experience, I guess, in that there's all these communities everywhere on campus that you don't even know about until you go, and then you show up and all of a sudden you have a new friend, and perhaps they're your age, perhaps they're 62.
Yeah.
So cool. Let's see. I have a couple more things on our list, and we'll eventually get to that speed round. Could you tell me a little bit about your painting your shoes right now? Yes? Tell me about your practice.
So I've been trying to do this since last semester. So I have been doing art and like painting and sketching for the longest time. My whole family is full of artists, so that's something that I've always been.
So cool.
Yeah, so it's surprising that I didn't get involved in it. I'm sure that like you at one point probably thought that that was what you wanted to do. But I actually wanted to go to college for visual arts, but I ended up switching at the last moment because I thought that I figured it was something I wanted to keep to myself and just keep as a hobby. So I wanted to do this last semester because I saw a really cool idea. It was actually after the Trippie Redd concert. I got even more into his music than I did before. And I was like, I want to paint an album cover of his onto shoes. And I got these shoes that had like a plain canvas on it, and it was a lot of space. So I was like, okay, I'm going to paint on these. And I just never got around to it. This was around November of 2019, and I just never got around to it. And then I was like, okay, winter break, I'll get to it. Didn't end up doing it. And spring semester just started off so crazy and just full throttle. So I just never got around to it. And now that I have so much free time because of quarantine, I've been trying to get to doing it. I see it literally in front of me. It's just there. I haven't done much of it in the past few days, but it's a little project that I have going on. But yeah, it's super exciting. If anyone watching knows, it's the A Love Letter to You 3 album cover.
Is it like really brightly colored?
Yeah, it's the one with the little green triangle on the top.
Okay, maybe I've seen that. That's really cool. And to paint on shoes, I thought that you meant like painting illustrations of shoes, and I was like, that sounds cool too, but I love this idea. So if you end up finishing it before the video is published and you wanted to send a picture or a progress picture or anything like that, we could definitely include that. Totally up to you.
Yeah, I'll do it if I end up finishing it. I hope I do. I like set out time today. I was like, okay, after I finish the Zoom call, I'm gonna paint it. So maybe today's the day. I will. I'd be happy to like show people. I feel like it's such a tease to like talk about it and then not share it. So I
definitely going to. That's great. And you mentioned art as kind of self-care and just having something for yourself to work on. I think that that's so important. I mean, just as a college student, being able to take care of yourself and do something artistic for fun.
Yeah, it was actually something I stopped doing for a while, and then I realized that freshman year is so crazy and you experience so many different things, and everyone does, not just me, so I'm not special in that way. But just dealing with living on my own for the first time, having all this independence, but then having to keep in contact with people that were 9 hours ahead of me. And not only them, just all my friends, mostly people in Dubai just like leave for college. So all of my friends were like between 3 to 8 hours ahead of me. And then my parents were 9 to 10 hours ahead of me, depending on time change. But yeah, so it was like so many different things happening at once. It got so overwhelming. And then I realized like I just wanted a break. I just wanted to take a step back and just do something I loved without having to think about it. And that's kind of why I kind of decided to just keep art for myself and not pursue it into a career. I just wanted it to be something that I do for myself, with myself, by myself. Like it was just something for me. And it really helped kind of cope with anxiety when it became too overwhelming, or just when I was bored, when I was free, when I had an assignment that I could not figure out what I wanted to do for, I would just take a step back, just spend some time just sketching and just taking a breath and taking that step back would help me be more motivated to get work done. So that's how I kind of focused my self-care and well-being in college on art.
That's great, because your brain totally works when you're not working. So if you're working on a project and you don't quite have the idea, and then you focus your attention on something else for a while, then you'll be like in the middle of painting like this one side of the shoe, and all of a sudden the idea is there and you weren't even thinking about it.
Yeah, that's so right.
Definitely. And then you mentioned that you're watching a show called Electric Dreams. Tell me about Electric Dreams.
Okay, so Electric Dreams is it's if anyone's watched Black Mirror, it's kind of like that. So it's single episodes, each one is a different story. It's kind of focused on this like dystopian, like, futuristic world. For almost all of the episodes are focused on that, and they just talk about technology and how it's going to get so advanced that we can't even tell the difference between reality and technology. It's interesting. And the one reason I kind of made it my goal to watch it was because it helped me kind of not blame myself for binge watching TV shows. It was my escape without really feeling like I was doing nothing. Because it still gets your mind stimulated thinking about some of the things, and almost all the episodes would leave me super like unnerved after, and I would just be thinking. It wasn't scary, but it just gets you thinking about what's going to happen if we don't make use of the advantage that we have technologically in the right way, like how bad it can get, or alternatively how good it can get. So yeah, if anyone wants to watch it, it's called Electric Dreams. It's super good.
It's on Netflix?
It's on Prime Video.
Prime Video. Okay, cool. I think I have that. I'm all about shows that make you think, because like you said, then you don't even notice you're binge watching. It doesn't feel as like, oh man, that was just 3 hours. Oh no.
Yeah, I really did spend like 6-7 hours in one day, and I was like, you know what? Don't feel bad. It's like you were studying, you were learning, you were reading.
It's science, it's school, it's fine.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay. Well, before we get into our wrap up, do you, I mean, it's, the world is, I'm searching for words to describe where we are in the world right now, and I'm coming up with very few besides just weird, crazy, kind of unnerving, like you said earlier about the show. Do you have anything that's bringing you comfort or words of advice that you could share with students who are either about to be freshmen at Illinois or elsewhere in the fall, or like looking at colleges for the next cycle? Just anything like that might bring people a little bit of comfort in this trying time that we're in.
Yeah, it can get really hard as it is. So having all this going on, it's obviously, as you said, a trying time. But I think I would just say kind of live in the moment, but not in a cheesy way. I'm just saying, if you're coming to college next year or next semester, focus on that. Be excited for that. There's so many things you're going to experience. We'll have like a lot of people ask, like a lot of my friends that are going to colleges that are from a few years younger, they'll be like, oh, but it's going to be online. Like we don't know. So just take advantage of the excitement that is the summer before college. This is like the only summer that you won't be thinking about anything, because you're just going to be focusing on college and all the exciting things you're going to experience. Mm-hmm. It's the only break that you get for between high school and college. So just take advantage of that. Make the most of it. Do what you got to do, and just be excited, because no matter what happens for fall semester, it's going to be a great experience, and everyone is going to work to make that a great experience for you. So I would just say, like, live in the moment, enjoy what's going on, don't worry about things. Obviously, stay safe. And yeah, I would just say it's a great experience if you allow it to be, in my opinion. I think you have to definitely give it the chance to be that great experience. It's going to be rocky for the start, maybe. If you're lucky, maybe not, but it could be rocky, and things could go not how you planned, but just let it happen, and it's going to be an amazing experience if you allow it. That sounds so sappy, but it's unfortunately, it's the truth. Yeah.
Well, I feel better, so I sure hope that brings comfort to other people too. Yeah, and we're all going through it together, and we will see what happens, and we'll all make the best of it. Bye.